Rents in Tucson are rising far faster than paychecks. That's driving some people out of their homes. 9 on your side's Craig Smith is here with one woman's story and what she says it's about the housing squeezing them out in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. You know, if you're getting by on a limited income, imagine the day when you see your rent will go up by more than 50%. Suddenly, you're not getting by, you're getting out with maybe no place to go. We have one woman's story, but there are plenty of others like it. Tucson's population has been rising faster than apartment and home construction. That's made our area attractive to investors who buy properties, renovate, and raise the rent. Marianne asked us not to show her face or use her real name. She's 79 years old. She remembers the day she got a notice. The rent at her West Side apartment would go up more than 51%, from $657 a month to $998.
I just started shaking and crying. I just broke down. My son read it for me and told me what it said. And, I didn't know what I was going to do, what was going to happen, because I can't afford anywhere near that amount of rent. It's not living on Social Security.
She says she cannot find a new apartment she can afford, so she's planning on shuffling among her children's homes. The website from the Los Angeles company that bought Marianne's complex tells prospective investors it seeks out properties in mid-sized cities with universities and corporate headquarters, quote, where we have confidence in the strength of the middle-income workforce, the stability of the properties, and our opportunity to generate the most of our return from current cash flows rather than long-term projected appreciation. Current cash flows, like higher rents charged by many different owners, have raised Tucson rents 25% in the last 3 years, while average pay has gone up an average of 4%.
We've seen a dramatic increase in calls to our helpline about this issue.
Mark Clark of Pima Council on Aging says higher rents have hit older people especially hard, but high rent is a problem that cuts across all ages. He says some landlords who were accepting low-income tenants through a government assistance program called Section 8 have dropped out of that program and shifted to more affluent tenants. He says any local government thinking about limiting how much rents can rise will be stopped by state law.
The state of Arizona has a law passed by the legislature, signed by the governor, that says that cities are not able to establish, a minimum or a maximum rent increase per year, for instance. That we've heard people talking about that as an option, but state law won't allow that to happen.
Clark says there are some apartments being specifically built for low-income tenants, but they still require rents people with very low incomes may not be able to cover. There's also the problem of time required to build more housing at any price to catch up with our growing population. Now, this topic triggered some strong responses on the KGUN 9 Facebook page. Jessica said, complete and total greed. This is hurting so many families and exacerbating the local housing crisis. Lola asked, and what is being done about it? Rich get rich at the cost of hardworking Americans trying to survive. Jeff was able to escape life as a renter. He said, and I bought a house in December 2019. My mortgage is a little more than $600 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Best decision I have ever made in my life. Now, that really helps you see how this issue just affects a really broad range of people.
It really does. He got a great deal, by the way, and it was a good move. My own personal experience, our family, the rent was going up at the house we were renting a few months ago, kind of gave us the push to get a mortgage and buy a house.
And it's kind of a mixed picture. The house prices are going up, but the low interest rates are still helping people make that buy.
So the mortgage is actually less than the rent would have been.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Craig, thank you very much. Taking a look at average rents in Tucson, Rent Cafe reports 3/4 of the renters in the city pay between $700 and $1,500. About 10% of the city pays less than $700. 37% pay between $700 and $1,000. 38% pay more than $1,000 a month, but less than $1,500. The highest rents recorded, more than $2,000 every month, account for only 4% of Tucson renters. Now, Tucson leaders say they recognize the issues and the amount and price of housing in the city. They've laid out an action plan to transform some housing that already exists and build more. The plan also pledges to create short-term fixes to help people now. One thing they could do is make it illegal for landlords to refuse to rent to someone based on how much money they make. and they have already approved an ordinance allowing casitas to be built on certain properties in the city. Short-term fixes should happen in less than 2 years, while some larger projects will take longer. Well, tonight at 5, we asked you about rent and how much it's gone up, if it's happened to you. And so far, well, you see 25%, that's 45% of the vote. 55% of those who responded actually said their rent has gone up 50% in that range. And nobody is saying, fortunately, that their rent has actually doubled over the last year. We're going to check in on this again tonight at 10.